hope this video finds you well. If this is the first time you've checked in with one of our videos, this is Improvised Life. We have a small little library and you're welcome to peruse through and check them out. You might want to subscribe, you might want to just keep an eye out on it. Either way, we're happy to have you here. My name is Tammy, and we're going to talk about some costuming today. Thanks to Cricket for asking me to host a little video for her students, but this video is really for anybody who has an interest in costuming or wants to know a bit about what it is. First of all, I am only a professional in the sense that I have done it before, and I've been paid to a certain extent for those services before. I am not a seamstress. I am not a tailor. At this point in my life, I am a mom, and I am a teacher and an improviser. So I will tackle any job that comes my way, and costuming has been one of those jobs. I've made all kinds of, children's Halloween costumes and helped to design some costumes for my casts that I have worked with in the past 11 years. So that's kind of where my experience has come from. I am sure that if you're here checking this out, you've got some sort of experience in your toolkit too, and I want to just kind of go through maybe some of the things that you have thought about and can put to use in this way, or maybe ignite your imagination to some things that you want to look at. So that's what we're going to do today. Right now, I am standing in front of my very random personal costuming closet here at home. This is only a very small portion of what I've got. And it's the things that I need to hang up, mostly. I've got clothing, costumes, and accessories in the standard Rubbermaid containers as well, packed away nice and neat, and that seems to be an industry standard for all of my seamstress friends everywhere, and costuming theater costumers. So very small selection that I've got here behind me. Some things that I have sewn personally, other things that I've had sewn for me, but as I get a little older, I feel more capable of doing these sorts of things. Let's see. So if you're a student or an adult, if you're somebody with a lot of theater experience, or you're just now getting into the theater scene and want to figure out where you can best apply your talents, this is a pretty good place to start for costuming. So the first question that maybe we should talk about is who exactly are costumers? Because, when the film credits roll on that favorite movie that you watch over and over again, you'll see all kinds of, stage directors and whoever the Gap is, and costumers and set designers and all of this stuff. Costumers, they can be seamstresses or tailors. Most of them are going to have some sort of experience in sewing, but they can also be the designers, the people that are putting the whole aesthetic together as far as how the actors look. That's kind of where most of my talent lies right now. And the designers, they come up with that 70%, we like to call it, how an actor or an actress looks on stage. They help to set the scene. They help to give the audience that that visual cue for the storyline that isn't relayed in the verbal, the body language that the actor is using, or the script that they've memorized and are thoughtfully giving to you. 70%, the rest of it, is all visual cues, what you're going to take in just because you're watching. And together with the makeup artists and the set designers, that's what we're responsible for. The directors put in all of the effort to helping the actors find their places on this stage and where they're supposed to walk to and emote correctly and all that, and help bring the story to life. But we're responsible for the 70%. Now the 70%, besides the makeup and the props and the stage design and that sort of thing, 70% when we're talking about costuming is all about jewelry and hats and gloves and shoes and masks, anything that an actor and actress is going to wear on their body. And since we're responsible for that, then we also have to keep the actor in mind, and the entire cast. We're responsible to a large degree for how that person feels in the skin that they put on before they come onto stage. So we might consider not only how the person can physically move, can they bend easily in the pants that we've put them, or dress that we've put them into, do they have range of movement in their arms, but we could also think about, and do, how hot they're going to get. Is the material that they're wearing, is it breathable? How long are they going to spend in this particular clothing? Because the last thing we want to do is to make the actor's job any harder than it already is. They've got a big job to do in bringing a character to life, and we don't want their clothing to make it any harder on them. We will also consider the entire cast while we're considering the entire look of the clothing for the cast. We want to keep in mind how the colors balance amongst everybody. If we've got a large cast and they are supposed to be somber, then that's going to be one look, you know. Everybody's going to be in kind of drab colors or whatever, you know. It's that part of the design. How are we relaying the storyline through what they're wearing? And everybody together relays that bit of the story to the audience. If one person's clothing stands out, it better have a reason in the storyline for standing out, right? We will consider whether the clothing that we put them in is period appropriate. A lot of the times you will watch a period piece, either on TV or stage, and something doesn't quite sit right with you. More than likely, that's a visual cue that you're taking in, and sometimes it has to do with the clothing on the actors. It's not meeting your expectations as an audience member of what that time period should look like. So those are some things that we like to keep in mind as far as the 70% goes. Not only how it works, how it feels on the audience, on the artist, if they can move about and all that stuff, but how how the audience is taking in the information, how it's layered on top of the storyline to help you understand the story better. There's a huge part of a costumer's sort of mentality. Not only are we concerned about what we're putting onto our actors, but we're also concerned about our actors because we will get them and they're coming to us with concerns, complaints. I don't like the way this feels. I don't want to wear this. Please put me on something different. So as a costumer, we have to do the hard work in our brains about asking the questions. What to get to the problem, right? So you look at a person, an actor or an actress, and they're telling you that they don't want to wear this. Consider whether or not that they're too hot or they can't move. So you've got to start answering or asking rather the questions for how that person feels about what they've got on. These are all things that as a person in everyday life we've gotten into the rut, the feel of what we will pull out of our closet, and we know how we feel in our clothes. But when you start clothing somebody else, it suddenly becomes a question of, well, okay, you don't want to wear this. Why don't you want to wear it? What can I do as your costumer to help your job be easier, right? Is the clothing, is it scratchy? Is it too hot? Have you, as an actor, come upon some portion of what you physically have to do on stage, and your clothing is hampering that? Maybe your actor can't fully verbalize what exactly it is that's happening, but they know it has to do with the clothing. So it's your job as a costumer, as a costume designer, to help them answer those sorts of questions so that they can do the job that they were hired to do as good as they can do it. Ask yourself if they just are having artistic disagreements with what you've put on them, because that is another thing that you should be concerned about. If the person just doesn't like what they're wearing, sometimes that can be mitigated. That problem can be fixed if you just have a thoughtful conversation about, okay, what is it about this that isn't setting well with you? Let them know what the demands of the in-show reality are, what you're trying to work around, and let them know that you're on their side, that you're ready to help them solve the problem and be the best character that they can be. Yeah. This has just been an overview of costuming, and I think I've hit everything basically. How important the costumers are to the rest of the ensemble, what we do, that we are part of the 70%, along with the makeup artists and the set designers and the technical, physical aspects of clothing. If you have any questions for me, you can go ahead and you can put them in the comments and I'll get back to them as soon as I can, or you can message me. Either way, I'll be happy to answer any questions you have. Might come back with a follow-up video. I'm not sure. But if you have questions and I can provide a follow-up to that. Sometimes we don't know the questions that we don't know. And I will follow up with another video. But until then, I am so thankful that you've asked me to give you a little overview and try to do your part for the 70%.